If you've been feeling isolated at college, this live stream is for you. I'll share 3 simple ways to reconnect and feel less isolated today. And if we haven't met before, my name is Dr. Parke. I'm a psychologist who's been helping students since 2005, and I also taught as a university psychology professor for 10 years. So I definitely understand at least those aspects of what college students are going through. And let me start by saying that my heart really goes out to you in this feeling of isolation. My dream for you is that you could feel connected, you could feel seen, you could feel heard, and maybe even celebrated for who you are. And I know it must be so painful to feel isolated from other people right now. And the good news is that this does not have to last forever. And the good news is also that you don't need a million best friends in order to feel less isolated. You really only need some little micro connections with other people. Only need some little micro connections with other people in order to start decreasing this sense of isolation and increasing how connected you feel with other people. And college is an inherently transitional structured. The levels are there. You can kind of see the bosses ahead of time. You're handed a structure. And in college, whether you live at home or whether you move onto campus or you live just off campus, the video game changes. And it's much more of an open world game, whereas it was much more structured previously. And the image that comes to mind for any college student is that it's like you're a plant that has been taken out of the pot that it was in and you've been repotted. And if you've ever owned a plant and tried to care for it, you know that repotting a plant is actually kind of traumatic for the plant, lowercase t, traumatic. And it can take quite a while for it to regain a sense of rootedness and a sense of wholeness and a sense of connection in its new space. And so metaphorically, what you're going through as a college student, regardless of whether you're living at home, regardless of whether you're living on campus or just off campus, and you can also feel that way, that sense of uprootedness, regardless of whether you're in your first year or whether you're in your 5th year. And that's what I mean when I say it's an inherently transitional time of our lives. So here are 3 simple ways that you can reconnect. One is very simply, very practically, go outside. And what I mean by that is spend more time in public places on campus. This could be a coffee shop, it could be the lawn outside, it could be a cafeteria, a courtyard, common area in your dorm. I want to say library, but libraries are not, it's a little harder to chat with people, you know. But I would recommend you just actually physically inhabit some sort of public space outside your dorm and don't have your earbuds in. Do not have your earbuds in because you just want to be alert and aware to your environment. You want to be available in case anyone wants a little chat. And even if you're and no one talks to you, that's totally fine. Just stay in that space with other people, be around other people, and you're going to start to feel just the tiniest smidge of being less alone. The odds are the more you start just showing up in these public places and studying or hanging out, over time, you might have a little chit chat with people here and there. Don't go into it with that expectation. That's not like success. That's not the result we're talking about. I'm just talking about physically inhabit these spaces, spend more time in them so that you feel a sense of belonging, just sitting there, and so that your nervous system relaxes a bit into like being around other people, which we are kind of designed for, right? So you don't need to have deep, profound conversations, and you don't need to meet your lifetime best friends tomorrow. And you can just kind of sit there and start to feel a little more connected, the slightest bit less alone. If social anxiety makes it hard for you to stay in a public place on campus, then that's exactly what I want you to practice. I want you to practice in that space and just staying there for 1 minute, if that's what you can start with. Start with 1 minute and then you can leave. Next time, go back, stay there for 3 minutes and leave. Next time, go back, stay there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and so on, And we call that exposure practice. But as you start facing your fears of just staying in that space, and maybe even your fears that someone would chit chat with you, you become a little more comfortable with just the reality of like connecting with people and being there. So that's a very small kind of dipping your toe in the pool type of way of feeling more connected. I basically want to help you get out of your room, help you get off of your phone and out of your earbuds and just a little more physically present into campus. So that's tip number one for you. Tip number two to reconnect and feel less isolated is to take one step toward getting and have clubs and events that they're publicizing, and I know that that can feel overwhelming. It can feel burdensome. You might be telling yourself, well, I don't know anybody in that club or at that event. That's okay. The only way to get to know people is to get yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone and to go. So find out about clubs or events that are happening on campus. Just take one step toward getting involved. That might mean following them on social media. It might mean RSVPing for an event, putting something on your calendar, sending someone a message to ask them for more info about an event that you see or about a club that you're interested in. And if you go and like it's not your vibe, that's totally fine. I'm not expecting that you're gonna like or be interested in or vibe with like every club that you try is in the water and see where you get some nibbles of interest and response and what you vibe with. So try it that way and just take one simple step today that will help you get a little bit more connected. If there is something like a club or event that you already have some interest in, if it's something that you love, that's awesome. That would be ideal. But if you're looking at these clubs and events and you're like, I'm not interested in any of this, I just want you to pick one to try. It's a little bit like, and I hope you don't hate this metaphor if you have like bad food experiences. It's a little bit like trying new foods, right? It's hard to know if you like that food unless you just taste it a little bit. And certainly at the extreme ends of things, there are foods that look objectively disgusting to us. Like if I saw a monkey head, I'm not gonna try it. Sorry, just, not my vibe. I already know that. But there's other foods where I'm like, I'm just not sure about that. Just as important to learn what you don't like as it is to learn what you do like. So just experiment with that. And if there's something that you didn't vibe with, you didn't like, that's fine. You can just try something else the next time. So that's tip number 2 for you, about how to reconnect and feel less lonely. And my third tip for you about reconnecting is seek to serve. What I mean by that is that when we are isolated, when we are lonely, we are kind of in the echo chamber of ourself and our life, our pain, our sadness, our heaviness, whatever the case may be, our exhaustion. And there's something almost magical about just getting out there and finding someone that we can help, someone that we can serve. And it could be super small. It could be as small as like you're sitting on a bench on campus, it comes across your radar. So it could be that small as like picking something up for someone. It could be as big as helping somebody move into their dorm, helping somebody study. You could sign up for a volunteer opportunity. It could be a one-time event. It could be an ongoing thing. It could be as big as getting a small part-time job where you feel helpful and you feel like you can contribute something to other people. Maybe it would help to think about your strengths, right? Like if you're strong in math, you're strong in your writing skills, I want you to recognize that there are students who struggle with those, and so you can help tutor them, whether they're a friend or whether you actually, get more of like a position in the tutoring center or the academic resource center, whatever your school calls it. You have something that you can contribute. You have a way that you can serve other people. You have that with other people. It's beneficial for them. And then the ironic side benefit is that it's also beneficial for you. So if you seek to serve, You'll never run out of opportunities to connect with people in meaningful ways. And I guess my encouragement would be that this world needs who you are, and this world needs what you have to contribute. And so there are people out there, maybe even other students, maybe even faculty or staff on your campus who need what you can bring. And you might not see it that way, but I can say I see it that way. I've experienced that as a student. I've experienced that as a friend. People need you. You need you. So on one last note, as a psychologist, I have an online community where college students can make friends and meet study buddies. So if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling isolated, please know that you are welcome to join us. I'm inviting you to join us for the community in a pinned comment below. Feel free to check it out, and I hope to see you in there. And either way, I hope this video was helpful for you and you start to feel more connected